All right, here we go. It's good to see everybody this Monday night, 7 o'clock. Glad you're able to make it over from the Sunday night. I was traveling back from visiting our 10th grandbaby. Praise God, it was spectacular. And so excited for Brittany and little Trenton Wade. And let me pin this here. So but it's great to see everybody. Here we go. So, yep, tonight, Monday night, December 16th, man, we got 14 more days left to crush it in the year to go change a lot of lives. And that, believe it or not, is a lot of time. We'll talk more about that. And thank you for being part of tonight. This is your community, one of the 8 essentials on helping you hit your dreams based on one patch. And if you got to hear just earlier David Schmidt talk about this is so spectacular. Here's a 20-year-old company, and Japan was leading the way before our team came into being 27, 28 months ago. And our team said, we're not going to promote all the other patches. We're just going to promote X39 and implement a system. And you may have heard, if you were on just a little bit earlier, or if you saw David Schmidt interview, he said that we are the fastest growing team in the LifeWay system in the world. We put America back in the lead way. Our team actually now generates almost half of all the sales of the X39 product. X39 product actually is about 86% of all the sales of the company, which this coming year should hit $1 billion in sales from 20 million just in 2020. And our team is the driving force. And he said the reason why it is we've learned to promote one patch. Now we'll wear all the other patches, but we lead with one patch, share with one patch, because that's how you accelerate replication, speed to market. You know, it's like this: if you're going to pass a baton onto somebody, right, then you don't want to pass 5 of them on a relay race. You want to just pass one. So we pass the one on. It makes it easy to share. And so it's one patch. And of course, then you want to learn how to share your story real quickly with people so they get intrigued and want to learn more, put them with eyeballs on a Zoom, you know, and then doing though, try to get your first 4 people, go manager, plug into this community like you are tonight and the Zooms that we have, and then become a manager maker. You got your first 4, fine. Let's go help people get their first 4 and let's replicate that process and then follow on through as after you get your first 4, what do you continue to do? Well, your belief's going to get higher because the people you pass, their results are going to get better. Your belief in seeing people's lives change is going to get bigger, and you want to continue to share this with people on a daily basis. And we have a system called 331, part of the PRO system with 331, share with 3 people a day, follow up with 3 people a day, and get all those eyeballs on a Zoom, each one of those eyeballs on a Zoom to the best you can and stay in the game. Well, hey, if we have 14 days left in the year, guess what? What's 3 times 14? 42. That's 42 people. Yeah, right. So that you could share with. And even if it's just one person a day, that's 14. Who do you believe? Who do you think could, out of those 42, 14 people or more, who do you think may be hurting? Who would love to have this patch on them? Who knows people that would love to have patch on them, right? And so there's a lot of opportunity, and God has that in store for you. Just ask him to lead you to it. And so as you continue going, you want to be in the sponsor 20 people left and 20 people right. And the goal is to try to get that done in 90 days. Some people have done it in 9 days, some 9 months. Really doesn't matter. It's up to you. But 20 left, 20 right usually gets you to senior director. That's going to get you to $1,000, $1,500 a week on the residual side. That's a great thing. Nothing compared to the miracles that you are now off that are happening because of your excitement on sharing this opportunity and walking through 20 left, 20 right. And once you do 20 left, 20 right, do it again. My wife and I have done it over 5 times in the past 26 months. And it's awesome to see all the lives that's changed. So, and then you want to learn what the power of a premium pack is and what the power and what that is, what the power of it is. Of course, not everybody's going to sign up on a premium pack, but if you understand its power, you can share it with them. So when they're ready, they can upgrade to it. Well, here's tonight's team agenda. Next week, we're going to celebrate new ranks. We've had a lot of activity popping, but nothing on a new rank basis for this week, but it's coming. And then we're going to hear from a testimonial of the week. And so I'm trusting the Lord that someone's got a great one for this week. And so we're going to kind of call that out as an audible. And then we're going to do coaching on abundance. And I've got an exciting coaching session for us to learn tonight about abundance that should get you not just excited, but believing how doable this is for you. No one needs to be hyped. We need to be equipped. We need to be empowered. We need to have belief, right? And so hype goes, but belief sustains. and then we'll have a Q&A because that's obviously where the empowerment occurs, you know, and we'll make some announcements as well. So, but I do want to jump to this wonderful picture here. Forgive me for being a proud granddad of our 10th grandbaby. If you missed it over the weekend, but here is precious Brittany down here, who delivered her 4th child, and her husband, Stephen. And Brittany and Stephen are directors in this opportunity. And so, which is amazing. We love them on their way to senior director and executive to presidential. We're excited for them. But here she had on, I think it was Thursday night, 6:35 Central Standard Time, a little 8-pound, 8-ounce, 20-inch baby boy, Trenton Wade Swenson. And blonde hair, just like almost all our kids came out, all 5 of our children came out blonde. And now we got 10 grandbabies. He's number 10. And and just the continued mark of, I think the birthmark is blonde. So we feel blessed. And hey, you know, we're wearing a patch. So guess what? We're even younger to enjoy our children by. So thanks for letting me share this time and this little moment in time with you. And so thankful. And there's my precious wife. That's not one of my daughters. That is Diana. And she's wearing 2 patches. So that's why she looks so young. Just kidding. But no, she is, my wife is just beautiful. So, and I believe she's on this call tonight with me. And you're going to see more of Diana and I together on these calls going forward. That's our commitment into this year is we're
Right here.
Hey, honey buns, how you doing?
We're all here, Dad.
We're
Thank
here.
you for the compliment.
Thank you.
Okay. Awesome.
Congratulations, everyone. Brittany, you
Thank
look like you $1,000,000. Congratulations, Diane and Ken, and Steven, and congrats on your baby boy. So
Thank you.
exciting.
Thanks, Dad.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It's exciting. And but part of the this commitment, this coming into the year with our leadership is just, you're going to see a lot more me and Diana really together on Zooms. We think that's important. We're always rolling and doing things and building the business, but just to see that togetherness, I love seeing what other couples and my team are leading away on their teams and their Zooms. So we think it's important when we can, and hopefully it's going to be many times together. And then of course, Diana does an amazing women's Zoom on Wednesday. I'm not allowed to be part of, but that's okay. It's you girls need that time together. And so get all that estrogen all taken care of over there, and it's all good on Wednesday. So, and we'll leave the testosterone, we'll bring that to the party later, right? So anyways, so thank God we can have fun, and that's part of this patch does, is, you know, it helps balance the brain, and so we can live less stress and have more fun, right? All righty, so let's go to the next slide here. And I had this little statement I made. I want to stick to the basics. It's part of the dynamic of this business, and I'll tell you this all the time. Life is like a camera. What you focus on will develop. And here's the core of this business. It says here on the right, if you can see it, it's kind of tiny. I'll read it to you. If you never knew anything about the comp plan or rank advancements, you'd still make all the money in the comp plan and hit all the ranks, plus earn all the trips and more if you simply focus on being a manager making machine. I love this business. It's simplified. And what does that mean? Well, obviously, you come in and you get a 6 or 20 pack, go on a 2-sleeve monthly order program, and then you're going to start a left and right team with 2 friends on your left and 2 friends on your right. And as long as they get a 3-pack, known as a core, and get on a 1-sleeve monthly maintenance program, then guess what? You hit manager, and now you're in the position to potentially, now not right then, obviously, because you got to start generating volume, but to start making up to $1,500 a week. And obviously that goes to $25,000 a week as you replicate this play. After you get your first 4, then help your friends get their 4, and those friends get their 4, and so on and so forth. It's a beautiful business model. And so, and what that does, it takes you through all these little ranks here, right? And so, you know, you see manager here in the blue, and potentially $1,500 a week on the team commission, then director and senior director and executive and presidential, senior presidential director with a pension, so to make $25,000 a week. And here's a little side note. The most we've really ever made in that piece right there is about 10 grand, but my paycheck 3 weeks ago was 35,000. So how is it that we made more? Because another way by which we make executive check match, which we're not going to show here, but from helping people go manager, helps you suck up all of the opportunity in the comp plan and takes you all the way. So, and our job here is to help simplify it for you, so you understand that as you're enrolling your family and friends, once they're past the, hey, I'm healthy now and I love this now, or maybe they come in healthy and well and want to build it with you right out of the gate. Most people, a lot of come in for the health, but then once they become a believer, like, oh, yeah, I know 4 people, and so that's the goal is once you got their eyes on those you've been enrolling that are ready to run, then your goal is to help them go manager. And so after you've gone manager. So let's go ahead here and talk about this topic for tonight. It's 7:14 right now. I'm going to make sure we honor our time because at 8 o'clock tonight is the This Is It team has their national recorded team Zoom at 8 and then again at 10. And remember, our team is Believers for Life. We sit underneath the umbrella of the This Is It team of Steve and Gina Merritt. We love them, pray for them, God bless them. And it's because of them we now have been able to form our own little community underneath that umbrella to make it granular for you because it's hard to connect with 250,000 people. That's to make people know that this is a team. So the Believers for Life is about basically making this it connective for you. And so tonight's topic for this week is the law of abundance. And so that's what we're gonna talk about. But before I do that, what I do want to do is I'm going to kind of stop here for 1 minute and I'm just going to open it up and I'm going to ask, does somebody have either a real win for the week, something that was just like an aha moment for you, and does someone have just an amazing testimonial, so far, which would really been for last week, today's Monday, but in the last week. And so if you have availability to open that up and share, please do. We'd love to hear from you. You just got to unmute yourself. I got everybody muted here.
Talk.
Go ahead, David.
Hey, Ken, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, I'm driving and it's dark
Uh-oh.
and I'm trying to focus. I'm driving.
You need 2
So,
pads.
yeah, so Stephen Covey wrote a book called The Speed of Trust.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a hold of a friend of mine that basically embodies that particular title of that book. I just called him up about, hey, what do you know about stem cells, so forth. He stopped me right there and he said, David, I don't know anything about it, but whatever you're doing, it's good enough for me. Sign me up.
Wow. Wow.
That's the speed of trust.
That is awesome. Wow. Thanks for sharing that, David. That's spectacular. Awesome. All righty. So I call that a win. Trust me. This business is all about trust. It's all about one reaching one. And that's powerful because that's how word of mouth spreads and it compounds. If one person reaches one person, now you have 2. Now, if those 2 people just go and reach one each, now you have 4. Now, if all 4 are all committed to just each one reaching another 1, now you have 8, right? And if 8 reach 1 each, now 16, 32, 64, whatever, 128, 256, 512, 10, 24 in 10 iterations, just 10 to do. That's 1,000 people. This is why word of mouth is the most powerful form of advertising on the planet on a mathematical basis. And what David did there, and it's all based on what? It's based on trust. And what's so spectacular about the genius of this business model for me and you is that it's all about getting 4 people. And 4 people are usually those 4 people that exist in your sphere of trust. You may have 10, 20, maybe 30 people from family, friends, coworkers, you develop people you work out with, people that over time that trust you. And so, and someone who's brand new in this opportunity, all they have to do is call a handful of them and get a dozen of them or so on a Zoom, or less. And out of that, they're going to get their 4. That is a trust arena. And the next person can do the same thing in their trust arena and help get their 4. And then so on and so forth. And so that is the real power of what is happening here. And if you look at your phone, like, think about this. This company is at over 600 million in revenue right now. 50% growth this year, which means they would basically tack and almost hit $1 billion this coming year. Guess where all that revenue is going to come from? It's going to come from everybody's phone. Because most people who love and care about the people closest to them are talking to them, not so much on social media, which is another viable platform, but it's not, it's on the outside of the trust bubble. Social media, doing events to promote the product and other things, all okay. But inside the core, the trust bubble all happens in the phone. And so I think it's just powerful that this whole business is going to blow up based on people getting excited and contacted. Hey, mom. Hey, best friend. Hey, neighbor. You got to come check this patch out. What patch? Well, you know about stem cells. And hey, I need to get your eyeballs on a Zoom with me. Take a look because I want to see if you see what I see. Can I count on you to join me? And having these conversations with people they love and trust and care about because they're excited, all based on this trust arena. And like David just said right there, bam, that was one who's like, I'm in. And not everybody's going to be in like that, but it's so awesome that the trust arena populates those kind of popcorn pops, if you will. And so just a little extra food for thought there. Thanks, David. Now, does anybody have just one testimony that from the last week? I had a friend of mine I was hoping to get her on, but she's single parent, not single parent. Her 3 kids, her husband's out tonight. So she has some answers she couldn't jump on. She had an amazing testimony with her parents and new distributors. Anybody else have just a wonderful testimony they'd like to just jump on and cut in and share with us before we move to the next section?
Hey, Ken, this is Amy, David's wife.
Hello, the other half of David.
So after David got his great results with his cardio and stamina improving, I said, well, let me try this patch and see what it can do for me. So I'm a therapist, physical therapist, so I do a lot of bending and lifting and twisting and just a lot of stuff. And I've been dealing with left hip pain for probably 5 or 6 years. Having to do some specific stretching to relieve that pain, discomfort, whatever I can do. Try not to rely on any Tylenol, ibuprofen, but I would do kinesio taping or BioFreeze, which is a topical analgesic. And so I put the patch on and I was like, I'm going to put it on my left hip because that's where it hurts. After about a week, that pain was gone. So it's been a couple of months now that I've been wearing it. So I am very thankful for that.
Wow. From years to just a couple weeks.
Yep.
That is awesome. And thank you, Amy, for sharing. And you guys are like a power couple there. Love you guys. Great job for contributing. I just tag in on that. I was at CrossFit visiting when I flew in on Friday up in Louisiana. And we were doing these walking lunges, with weights on our back, and then we're doing other things, toes to bar, a bunch of stuff, all the easy stuff. Just kidding. And next thing I felt like a tweak in my upper thigh towards my hip flexor. And I'm like, no, I did not just tear a muscle. What did I just do? This is not happening. And so I quit. I was like, okay, I can't do the toes to bars, can't lift anything. When I lift my leg up over my head, I can't do a walking lunge. So I'm like, oh man. So I was able to do some biking, but I put the patch. I had the patch actually on my hand. And so I have it somewhere else on it right now, but and I just put it on my hip flex and that hip area below my hip flexor. And no lie, about 3 hours later, I'm like, man, I got no pain right now. I said, can that thing heal that quickly? So I don't know if it was between the patch and just, the placebo, but I'll take both of it. But all I know is that pain is gone. And so that was, I knew it was a strained muscle. And so that was pretty crazy. But thanks, Amy. Thanks, David. All righty. So let's go on to the next slide here. Bring this back up. Talk about the law of abundance. Because let's do here. Okay. Come on, help me on the computer, do this for me. Okay, so just do me a favor, wave your hand. You guys can see the screen share now, right? The big orange screen, is that right?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, great. Thanks, guys. Okay. So the law of abundance. Now, when I was a kid, I was in trouble with the law. I was not a very good teenage kid. It wasn't good. So I actually thought it was fun to break the law. Not very good. I came to know Jesus afterwards, and thank God, I became a good good blessing to the community. But the law, laws are what? Laws are basically, it is what it is. Like that's what the law of gravity, it is what it is. You can't change the law of gravity, can you? No, you're going to have to abide by the law of gravity. Well, there's this other law. It's called the law of reaping and sowing. And in conjunction with that is this thing called the law of abundance. And when you watch certain people in this organization like Rocket, and particularly those who don't have a downline to call upon, like me or my wife, or we have our downline now, we have a new that's part of our down my right leg is Brittany and Rick Francis. 8 months in, they hit senior presidential director, never been in this business before, right? No network marketing experience. He's an owner of an auto dealer. He's busy, and she's a leader in Christian women's circles and such. And they lay hold underneath Danny and Diane McDaniels, and boom, and they just run. And well, I was looking at their back office. They've sponsored like over 200 people, and so that's quite a few people. That's abundance. Now, abundance is different for everybody, but the bottom line is God has abundance. The law of it is available for everybody, and the experience of it's going to be different, tailored to your thumbprint. So don't compare yourself to Brittany and Rick Francis, or like I like to share, Renita and her husband, the Brennans. They signed up 300 people the first month. That's 10 people a day. Boom, getting them in. 100 of them bought these premium kits. They made like 50 grand in bonuses alone that first month. And so we don't compare to other people, right? For me, by the time I was 100 days in, I had sponsored 60 people. And with the first several people, one was Greg Warmbier, right? Boom, he eventually becomes a senior presidential director, praise God. And then my 63rd person was Andy Hoser, who then out of him, boom, has come a handful of SPDs. And but my abundance wasn't close to even Brittany and Rick Francis, who they made SPD in 8 months. It took me over 11, and being new to the industry. And but I couldn't compare myself to Renita Brennan or those guys and others who, but the commonality of it all was the law of abundance. And so you have access to you, every person on the planet, we have access to the law of abundance. And what that means is, if you embrace it by God's design, it has to reward you according to its law. And so in order to get access to it, what do you got to do? Well, you've got to put it to work for you. That's up to you. You don't have to, but if you want it, it's there. And what it will do is it will begin to put you into the mix of blessing to begin to move you through the paces and the opportunity of this business, particularly when it comes to going manager and launching managers, and continue to sponsor left and right, 20 left, 20 right, and move through the paces, because you're now putting the law of abundance to work for you. And abundance for you is going to be different for everybody else. Abundance for you could be in the 3-3-1 process. It could be one person a day. That's 365 people in a year. Or it could be the 3-3 system. Well, that's going to be like, whatever, 1,085 people, whatever that, no, I think it is, whatever 3 times 365 is. And, or 95. And, but it's different for everybody. But the point is, what the law of abundance does is an invisible reality that begins to enact activity, which then by itself attracts more positivity and strength to overcome negativity. And because and for all of us in life, there is this pressure of negativity that sits down on us on any given day. I mean, I had a lot of it today. I was like, this is not happening to me today, one after another. I'm like, what is going on here? So you ever have those days? I had one of those days today. I'm like, oh man, I'm not even qualified to do the Zoom tonight. So it's one of those kind of days. But you know what? I believe in the Lord. I trust him and I believe in his law of abundance. Like, no, man, I'm holding on the law of abundance. I'm gonna make some more phone calls, do some follow-up. I'm getting ready for this meeting tonight. I'm embracing, this 331 system, and I'm looking to help launch managers, and I'm going to do Zoom for people. I'm active because I believe in the law of abundance, and I'm putting that thing to work for me. Right. So here we are right now. And and the thing is, the law of abundance is based on scattering seed. Remember, I like giving the scriptural analysis of, Jesus talks about this farmer who scattered seed, and he's basically saying Jesus is like the farmer, right? And then he had this perfect product, the seed, which was the gospel. And he said, I'm going to come across 4 types of soil, and he's going to get out there and scatter it, right? And some of the soil is going to be the good soil, and that's what's going to grow, and that's where the church and everything comes out of. But then other soil is going to be, the weeds are going to choke it. It's like in this opportunity. Oh, yeah, Ken, I don't know, $3 a day, it's too much for me, or I'm busy in my life right now. I'm now just in the time. And that's okay. The weeds choke it. Don't try to uproot the weeds, right? And then maybe the sun scorches it. People get all excited. Yeah, I'll jump on that Zoom, or yeah, I love that. I think I'd love to do that. And then they just never call you back. And we've run a couple people last week like that. Like, wow, I get a lot of that. And then you have the birds take it. Yeah, I'm good. I'm already healthy. I don't need a patch, and but then you have the good soil, the people who are looking. And I always ask the Lord on this, I said, Lord, listen, you knew where the good soil was. Why in heaven's name did you waste your time scattering to where nothing's going to happen except, in my mind, frustration and disappointment? Because that's how it feels, right? And at times, unless you really begin to understand what I'm talking about here, is that how Life One-on-One works is that we're out sharing this opportunity. You're going to come across 4 types of people. The good soil, which is going to be ready. They're going to want to take a Zoom. They're going to want to sign up. They're going to want to get these patches on them and their family and their friends. They're going to want, and after either there's someone who they don't want to run the business right now, but then once they believe it, now they're ready. Or people who want to get these patches on them and they're ready to run too. You're going to come across those people. Those people right now are out there right now as we speak. There's a bazillion of them. All righty. But guess what? There's 3 times the quantity of them, of those who are, the weeds are going to choke it, the weeds are going to choke it, the sun's going to scorch it, and the birds are going to take it. The thing is, you and I don't know who the heck, which ones of those are. It's like people say, hey, Ken, how do you approach a doctor? And listen, I just recently signed up one of the leading guys in 100,000 eye surgeries in my eyes in the state of Florida. Got him signed up. And then I signed another one of the ophthalmologist on staff who's doing the post work on me, signed him up too. Well, how'd you do that? It's the same way I do someone in line at Publix or whatever, or my family, sign by anybody. It doesn't matter if they're a doctor or whatever. I don't know who's in any good soil. And so I'm going to share the same thing. Hey, you're familiar with this thing, right? Usually I have it on my hand. No, what is that? Oh, it's a stem cell reactivation patch. What do you know about stem cells? And then I start that process. I say the same thing every time. And so I ask them the same questions. Hey, is this something I want to learn more about for you? Oh, really? Why is that? Are you open to taking a look at a link, a Zoom to learn more about it? Great. And afterwards I'll follow up with you and I'll show you an order form and get some for you if you want. It's kind of a similar thing. And so I say it to a doctor, or it doesn't matter, because everybody is the same. It doesn't matter what the degree they are that they've earned from college or not. They're all the same. They all have some kind of pain going on, something they're looking for, and they're going to fall into 4 categories, and you and I don't know who the heck they're going to be. They're going to be good soil, the birds take it, weeds choke it, sun scorch it. And so you're going to see that when you're talking to people. And once you begin to understand that's how life works, then you know that you've got this perfect opportunity like a seed, and you want to begin to hit a lot of good soil. Well, the only way to get a lot of good soil is to scatter bountifully. Because if you scatter sparingly, what's the Bible say? You're going to reap sparingly. You'll find some good soil, but you're going to probably spend a lot more time being frustrated with the other soil you're dealing with, because you're just not in a momentum of staying light on your feet and letting go of your seeds and scattering them, because you got discouraged, because you put too much hope in one person. that you thought would come in. You believe they do it. They're a health advocate, this and that. They know a ton of people. They'd be perfect for the business. And then whether they ghost you, they're not interested, or no, just not now. And oh, your heart goes down. Ben there did that. Well, don't embrace one person, embrace the principle. Embrace the principle of the law of abundance, because it's waiting to bless you with an abundance of people that God has for you. And so what you got to do is you got to keep scattering. So let your seeds, let go of them, right? Don't hold back and shrink back because you're discouraged. Bust your fist open and open those things and start and get out there and push through and keep scattering, because people matter and there are hurting people who need this and they're waiting for you. You just got to get through the nose to find who those are. See, when they say no, here's what you want to do. You want to say, praise God. What? Yeah, because you want to get yourself out of the negativity into the hope of God going before you. Because the reality is, the reason why is that because he has everyone picked out for you. He has all the good ones picked out for you. But the reality is, just like Jesus had to go through, the birds saying, wheat, sowing, sun scorching to find where the good soil was. That's how it is in life and everything. So, and how do you do that? Why, it's like me being a quote a Christian. Once I had my experience with Jesus, I'm like, I got to let everybody know that. And that was like 40 years ago. I still want people to know it, and I'm not going to not share that with people because people won't listen. They won't want to come to church with me or they don't agree with me. No, I still love them because I believe what I have is worth it and it protects my integrity. And we have the most prolific technology on the planet. That if you saw the David Schmidt interview and heard some of the science was and begin to look at the science, this thing is outstanding. As soon as you put this on you, it's doing amazing things inside you based on clinical trials and studies. You're not even feeling, resetting a third of your genes to a younger state. Just so we can go on, right? In the testimonies, we have something that protects our integrity of belief. Just like the baseball player who bats a 300, right? That means 7 out of 10 times he's going back to the dugout, but he makes millions. And you know what? And he doesn't get all discouraged because the crowds booed him going back to the dugout or whatever happened. He's got belief in his heart, or he or she, whoever, belief in their heart, so that when it's time for them to get back up to bat again, share the patch again, they're just excited. They're going to swing for the fences, and you're going to share because you care, because you believe that it's worth the other person hearing. Hey, what do you know about stem cells? I got my hands on the most prolific technology on the planet. It's a little sticker that reactivates your own dormant stem cells. I don't know if you knew this, but when you're a baby, all your stem cells are active. By the time you're 30, only half are active. My doctor never told me this. And by the time you're 60, they're almost all inactive. But this turns them on back naturally. It's done this, that, and the other for my family, friends, and others. Is this something you'd like to learn more about for you? Oh, really? Why is that? Awesome. Well, I'm inviting a few friends, and I'm thinking about you too, that I've got a little private Zoom with a friend of mine who's going to do for me to help explain it better because I'm still new at this. And, and I'd like to see if you'd like to join me because I want to see if you see what I see. Would you like that link? Or there's a Zoom going on until 8 o'clock. You're going to hear more about it, learn more about it, see how you get some for yourself. Would you like that link? Oh, you have a lot of questions? Oh, great. Well, I've got this. Give me your phone. I'll text you a little link here. This is at info.com. It's going to tell you all about it. Watch the second and third video, 3 minutes each, how light works in the body and how the founder created the patch. And then you can scroll down and see everything else you want to see. Patents, studies, whatever you want to see. It's all there, 80 clinical trials. Would you like that? Sure. And then, oh, by the way, I have another patch on me. If I'd be willing to share one with you, just let you know that 90 days is the runway by which you're going to want to wear this properly, because 97% of those who wear this in 90 days see results, because clinically in 90 days, the collagen in your body is going to refresh, your skin, hair, and nails is going to get better. Your cardiovascular is going to be restored to a 2-year younger state every 8 weeks. And then 4 to 6 weeks, the left, right lobe of the brain is going to balance, and so your sleep, energy, focus is going to get better. And then your anomalies of joint pain, back pain, this pain, the other pain, that's going to begin to go away all within 90 days. So 97% of the people, but I'll share one of these with you right now, just to share how easy it is to wear this technology. Would you like to wear it? And the people say, yes, they're interested. And the other people say, no, I got to do more research. Okay, good for them. But now I've got their cell phone. I've already going to text them a link to this, that. Now I've got a reason to follow up with them. Hey, listen, how about if I give you a call tomorrow to see what you think about the wearing the patch and think about the Zoom I sent you? Does that sound good? Oh, really? What's a good time? Boom. That kind of I just gave you as a standard operating procedure that if you stood next to me in a given day that I function around, that's going to make it very easy for me to share this patch with people from sitting on a plane to family and friends to whoever on our 3-1 model. Alrighty, but here's the deal. God has everyone picked out for you. This is what's so spectacular. We are fallen creatures. We find it hard to believe. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And when the defeat of today hits us, it's hard to believe in something good's going to happen for tomorrow. But here's the belief. If you get your eyes off yourself, eyes off this life, get your eyes on God and understand that what he has is special because he thinks you're his favorite. And he believes that and he wants to participate with you. Remember, life began in a garden. What that means is God made work as a gift for man. Work is a gift for us. And when you begin to work, it begins to work on your behalf. And then God comes in, he begins to work with you. But you begin to shrink back from work, shrink back from not telling people, shrink back from not letting them know what's going on. Then all of life kind of gets more negative. It gets more harder. And eventually you may just want to push out and say, oh, these are another one of these things that didn't work. No, it didn't work. You didn't work. The patch are being made in crazy succession. David's ramping up to make $3 billion worth of these things tooled up by 2026, he just said, and so the patch are being made every day. The company's shipping every day. They're paying people every Tuesday, and they give us a website. They do all these things for us. All we got to do is open our mouth and share this with people and not get our feelings hurt. Oh my gosh. I tell you, and we all do. All right. So we just got to run. You got to keep pushing through. And being plugged into the Believers for Life team like you are right now, that's part of the system because you got to be on fire. And the farther I get away from getting on the Zooms, the quicker I get cold. I got to jump back on these Zooms, right? Or be leading Zooms and doing Zooms. And that's what you really want to be. And so, so our strategy here is, first we tell people pray, ask God to go before you because he already is. Just recognize it, right? And ask them to bring you leaders. And then what we're talking about is eyeballs on Zooms. We understand, like I just shared you a sample runway when I piqued people's curiosity about, hey, would you like to learn more? Or really, why is that? Hey, well, there's a great Zoom going on. Either a friend of mine's doing or the one going on tonight. Would you like that link to see, so you can get on here to see what I see? Why? We want to get eyeballs on Zooms because once they see the Zoom, it's more than them just buying a pass, hoping they feel better. Now they understand who David Schmidt is, where this company's going, where our team is going, what this patch does, how it works, how to wear it, and what our team's about, and how they can actually financially begin to achieve things that currently they're not, So that Zoom gives them kind of the whole enchilada. And they don't have to take the whole enchilada because they're going to be one of 3 people. And that's why I tell them, hey, you're going to be a 3. You want to do more research? Great. Or maybe you're a number 2. You want to get more patch for you and your family? Wonderful. Or maybe you're number 1. You're ready to launch. You want to get some patch for you, your family, ready to hit the go button on the comp plan. Just let us know at the end of the Zoom. Are you a 3, 2, or 1? Right. And you do that on Zooms and you get in someone's living room, and so we have some of our team right now are blowing up because they're getting, I did a living room when I first started, but I've done so many Zooms, but I want to get back in living rooms, but living rooms are a great place to be because friends can invite friends and remember, get that trust bubble right there, that trust circle. And then what you do is once, you're inviting people, then on your daily basis, you're staying plugged into the 3-3-1 system, sharing 3 people a day, follow 3 people a day, or whatever your cadence is. And it helps you to stay plugged in as you're plowing through. You got to plow through the negativity, stay focused on the Zooms to get your 20 left, 20 right. You got to get to that point at a minimum, right? And get through there. You got 14 more days, see how more quickly you can do that. And then you want to, as your friends that you begin to enroll, you get your first 4, and some of those may start getting excited and start becoming a believer. Hey, which one of those ready to launch to manager? So you want to start working with your brand new people coming in and help them know that you can help them go manager, or give me a call and we'll help them go manager by doing a Zoom for them. Right. And so the key is you want to stay on fire. So easy to get wet. You need your fire to be brighter to burn the water before it hits it. Right. And the God alone, he can help you do that. And if you stay plugged into the Zooms, you stay plugged into like a night like tonight, right? And you stay plugged into being active on caring for people and sharing with people and following up with people and getting them on Zooms and you getting on Zooms and you doing Zooms. Well, what's going to happen? The whole activity is just going to work nothing but miracles to lighten your belief, to lighten your positivity, to brighten it. So, I just want to encourage you on the basics, and it all goes back to the law of abundance, of taking activity, because God has to. God says, I will not be mocked. That which a man or woman sows, they shall reap. Now, think about this, okay, as I end this here. This is crazy. When you put an apple seed in the ground, you're going to get an apple tree. But what happened in between getting the seed in the ground and then apple tree growing, where now you have apples on it? What happened from here to here? Growth. Growth happened. Who made it grow? God. Because God made the law of sowing and reaping, so he owns it. He facilitates it. He makes sure it's executed. He's in it. And he has the show-stopping part of it. Taking that little seed of an apple seed the size of less than your thumbnail and morphing it into a tree that weighs, who knows, 1,000, 2,000 pounds, with fruit and leaves and bark on it, whatever, from a seed. Boom, God brought all the growth. I watched how God brought the growth for me and my wife, Diana, in our business. But the reason, and the people that he's bringing the growth in the business are people who are really embracing the law of abundance, whatever that looks like for their thumbprint. You see that? Because God will not be mocked. He has to perform according to what your action is. And he's gracious. So if your actions are really low, he still wants to help encourage you, get you around. But he's looking for you to get in the game so you can reap what you've sown and allow him to come in to do the growing. The Bible says Paul planted, Apollos watered, but God made it grow. That church grew like a weed, after Jesus rose from the dead, to where we are today. And that's been God's work. And also in the Old Testament, it says, them who labor in vain, except the Lord, except the Lord build the house. That's the growth of the house. We who labor, we do so in vain. So we are the laborers. God is the builder. We are the planter, water. God is the grower. So we are partnered, you and I. This should bring you amazing hope in this opportunity that he is partnered with you to help you win. And it's all based on you being active and scattering bountifully based on your thumbprint, whatever that looks like. And you just ask him to go before you, and he's going to begin to lead you. And he has every person picked out for you, every single person. Like my wife and I are believing into 2025. He has every single person, we're believing for brand new leaders that don't even exist right now in this organization. They're going to come up mainly through the leg that you guys are in, our left leg. And, and we're believing for that. We're asking him for it. We're believing for it. And we're going to do our part on sponsoring ourselves personally and to lead the way, and working down at the very bottom to help brand new people go manager, right? So we're working this thing, believing God all the while that as we labor, that he's going to honor our efforts and he's going to bring those amazing leaders in. And we're specific. We want leaders who have a big heart for God. They're humble and they're fun to be around, right? So that we need humility. We don't need anybody being proud around here, because that will just frustrate and ruin things. So here we are at 7:46. I hope I laid a foundation for you to ask some questions on, and so I can help you in the specifics of some things I would have shared. And so I will go ahead and feel free, if you want, to go ahead and unmute yourself at this point. And if you have any questions, please feel free to jump in, because I promise you your questions are the same questions all of us had at one point. And it's going to be a blessing to have it answered for all of us here.
I have a question, Dad.
Yeah, go ahead, Spencer.
This is not really related to it's just related to the recording. How fast can I get my hands on this recording?
Well, it will be Brendan Duplessis. He's in South Africa right now. It's 7 hours difference. So that's 3 a.m. in the morning. So once he gets up in the morning, which would be, he's 7 hours at it. So tomorrow morning.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. That's all I want to say.
Yeah, you bet. And it will be on the school platform. And so we do have a classroom setting, and one of the sections is for our team calls.
Hey, Ken, it looks like Brendan's on right now.
What's that?
It looks like Brendan's on, answering in the comments. He said it'll be available tomorrow.
Oh, he's an animal. Love you, Brendan. Thanks, Sam.
I have a question.
Hey, honey.
What might help some people.
Yes.
If you were to go to a networking event, what would you bring with you? What would you say,
Hmm.
for like an elevator speech type of thing or something, how to promote the patch? What would your suggestions be for that?
And great question. So yeah, at a networking event, there's a couple things. First, what I'd bring with me is I'm going to bring sign-up forms. And we just had, before we got back, we had my daughter clean the house up. So they're using my desk right here. They're not here. But I bring sign-up forms, paper sign-up forms. I definitely would have, patches with me, and particularly one that's going to be open that I could share. Well, I'm going to share one with people. And then if by chance I enroll somebody, I want to have sleeves on me because if I'm going to see them again, I want to do a place and replace program with them. So if they buy, a 3, 6, or 20 pack, I want to be able to, it's going to be, several days before they get theirs. So I want to make sure I can do a place and replace program with them. Before I go, I'm also going to be prayed up, asking for divine appointments and being sensitive to that. And then, some have elevator pitches that are going to give you 30 seconds, 60 seconds. Typically, they're going to give you a 45 or 60-second, unless you're at a big BNI official thing and they're hard. They're going to hit a bell and boom, you got to sit down at 30 seconds. But, you want to have your elevator. And in that elevator, and matter of fact, I got to get this to Jenny. I was going to tell her to do it today, and today just got really interesting. You basically want to have that summary. You stand up and, hey, my name is, so-and-so, and I've got a question for everybody. Because I don't know about you, but my doctor never told me this, that when you're a baby, do you know all your stem cells are active? And by the time you're 30, age is setting and only half of them are active. And by the time you're 60, almost none are active, but they're all there. Did you all know that? Well, guess what? I have this patch that turns them all back on naturally using light in the body. And it did this for my friend, this for another friend, this for another. And it's super affordable. It's safe. Nothing goes into my body. And, but if you'd like to learn more about it, come see me afterwards. I'll share more about, get your questions answered on this patch. Something along those lines. So in an elevator pitch, you always want to pique someone's curiosity. And then you want to have them come see you afterwards to get it answered versus, hey, this is a stem cell reactivation patch. Man, you're not going to believe this. It does this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 blah. You want to lead up to what's the need for the patch and the dynamic that I talked to medical practitioners, and most of them still can't tell me they didn't realize that by the time we're 60, our stem cells are dormant. So it's a really great, great, great hook to capture people's attention and then stimulate, and then the testimonials of what it does, and then also knowing it's safe, it works off light in the body. Hey, I'll explain it when you come see me, but nothing goes in my body, and it's really, and whatever. So I hope that helps. Does that help?
Yep, that sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, and on school, I'll do a 30-second and a 60-second elevator pitch so that you all can have that, and both on recording and written, so that you could take it with you and you can read it from your cell phone. That's what a lot of people do. They'll read when they stand up at a networking function and they're allowed to share. They'll read from their phone what they want to say, because then they get to say what they want to say and not flub it up, because they're so nervous when they stand up before a bunch of strangers, because we all feel nervous standing before a bunch of people many times. But if you can just read from your phone, it actually sets an example for a lot of other people. Wish they would read from their phones too when they mess it up. So great question, honey.
Oh, and I have another question. So then when you're following up with somebody, do you send them a text message? Do you call them? And what do you say?
Okay. The follow-up, actually, that's a great question again. Thanks. So the follow-up is really, it starts on what you said before you left them on what's going to happen. So, hey, do you mind if I give you a call tomorrow to see what you thought on the Zoom you're going to take a look at? Or, I'm wearing the patch. Of course, make sure you took it off. Great. What's a good time for you? Is it 10 or 2 o'clock? What's a good time for me to give you a call? And so I would tee up I teed up for a phone call. So, and that's what you want to basically do. And now if you forgot, to do that, or you didn't do that, and you got a lot of people right now you got to follow up with, and now you're going to do that going forward because you understand how powerful that is. But in the meantime, I just pray and I call them, because here's the deal: if they're busy, they're not going to answer. And then I'll text them and say, listen, I tried just calling you right now. You're probably busy. What's a better time for us to connect? And I'd send that in a text. But I want to get them on the phone, because that's when dialogue it can take place.
When you get them on the phone, would you then go through the presentation, like the opportunity slides with them, or what would your conversation be like?
Okay, so if it depends on the context. Did I patch them, and did I get them on a Zoom where they went and saw it, like tonight's Zoom at 8 o'clock, or what have you, or the one I'm doing at 8 o'clock tomorrow night? Or if they didn't see a Zoom, and you're simply following up, and maybe you send them, this is an info. The key is you want to get people's eyeballs on Zooms. I just want to let you know that right now. The goal is get their eyeballs on a Zoom. More importantly than just getting them on thisisinfo.com. And so just FYI, going forward, you guys want to adjust your mode of operandi to make sure you're inviting them to the next Zoom. You got to make sure you're aware of the Zoom schedule. And if you need me to do a private Zoom for you, you need to let me know that as well. And so you've got that available to you, because you want to get eyeballs on Zooms. That's A. B, if there isn't a Zoom and you're going to give them this info and you're going to follow up with them, then when you follow up with them, the goal is to set a time, unless they're free then, to actually have them see the plan, which you have on your phone, or you're going to point to a Zoom going on, like the women's Zoom on Wednesday at noon, or the Friday Zoom at noon, if it's like that day. You want to really keep it fresh that day. It's another thing. You don't want to push them to a Zoom 3 days from now. You really want to get them on a Zoom that day. The next day at the very latest, because you want to strike while the iron is hot. So if you're confident to do a Zoom and they're interested and want to learn more, then you set a time to say, hey, what's a good, do you have time now? I can kind of screen share with you on a Zoom, or I can meet you at a Starbucks real quick and I can show you what this is about. And then you'll know, if you want to place an order and what have you. And so, but the point is, now that you're in connection with them, what is a creative way for you and connection with them to get their eyeballs on a Zoom, like right away? And if they're willing, and I've done this, I've met someone at a Starbucks 2 hours later. Hey, meet me at a Starbucks, and just pull out the phone and just read down through the slides. Thisisateam.com has the slides on there, and just read just the 10 slides. They have a ton of slides on there. Just find the one where he starts with the girl with this thing on her arm, with the patch on her arm, and that takes you down through to where you need to be. So, and that's the kind of organic stickiness that you want on that one-on connected relationship, where you got someone who's interested to learn more. Then you want to make sure they don't get too far out on time, and either A, you get with them to show them that in the sense of urgency, or you figure out a way your downline, your upline, to be able to do a Zoom with you and them that day. Like, hey, Ken, can you jump on a Zoom with me or for me today? I've got someone who's interested, wants to see more about it. Use your upline. Get your upline to help get their eyeballs on a Zoom. And you be the contact or inviter until you're comfortable being the upline to do the Zooms.
That's awesome. But there will be some times, I believe, that people will be like, you know what, my doctor cannot figure out what this problem is, and I'm willing to try anything. And then you just can sign them up there and just say, hey, I have something you can fill out, and the patch will be delivered within 3 to 5 business days. And you sign them up there, and then follow up with them with information too about the patch and things like that, where you can go over things with them.
Absolutely. And that's why I wish I had the sign-up form on me right here, because if you either have the sign-up forms on you, and if you don't, you use everybody's with me, the sign-up forms here.
Or you can actually you can sign them up on your phone too.
Well, yeah. So what I like to do is I like to show them this form I'll be with them right then, and I want to show it on their phone and my phone. I'll text it to them. I'll text them the form from the This Is a Team downloads. I'll text them, and so that they can make a decision on which one of the packs they want. And And there's two things. You can, at that point, then key the order in on the phone. Don't send them a link. You've got to take control. Don't ever send somebody a link on signing up. Please don't do that, because it gets hiccupy, and they usually have last minute questions, even fear factor things that sit in right before they get to pay the money. And you need to be with them to help answer those questions to make it easier for them than to follow through. But I've also found that the fastest way for me to sign somebody up is not to do it on my phone with them right then, is to literally take this sheet of paper. And if I don't have this sheet of paper, I will show them what this form looks like on the phone. And I'll say, which one of these things do you want? And I'll literally, on the back of something, I'll write down their name, address, phone number, credit card. I'll just write down the information, and I'll just say, if they're in a hurry, or right then we'll key it in. And so, yeah, if I'm with them right then, we'll key it in, honey. That's right.
Yeah,
And,
and I love when you start off with them, you say, it retails at $149 for the 30 patches, but we don't share, and we don't have everybody sign up on retail. We want you to get it at wholesale rate, which is only $99. So it kind of sets the value point price, point when it's $149 for retail, and they're getting it as a better deal. So.
Well, that's a great point as far as how to say what to say when signing somebody up. It's really awesome. And Diane, you're right on the money, is that you want to create a comparison. And so you'll let them know, hey, listen, typically, like Diane said, $149, but you don't want to pay $149, right? You'd like to get a wholesale, because you get a wholesale for either $99 down to almost, $89, and by buying one of these kits, and so, and that's basically from what I'm going to do. And I'm going to unpack for them. I call them, I say, listen, we have a 3, 6, or 20 pack. I don't even say core, advanced, premium. I say 3, 6, or 20 pack. A 3-pack, it gives you the ability to kind of kick the tires. It's going to limit you to $100 a week on the residual. The 6-packs can give you hit the go button, the comp plan. And the 20-packs can give you to help rocket you potentially out of the gate if you partner with us, and I share a little bit of how that looks. And I said, but also just to let you know, we have a 1 and 2 sleeve monthly maintenance program. And it's so important that you click on one of these. It's all month to month. You can click off anytime, but for 2 reasons. You want to make sure that if you and your spouse and you're just kicking the tires, you buy this 3-pack here, one for you, one for her, and then get on a 2 sleeve monthly maintenance program, because you need that 90-day window. You need to at least get through that 90-day window at a minimum, right? You're supposed to wear 1 month for every 10 years of life. And then, by the way, you're going on a left leg or a right leg, and I'll explain it later, but you have people that are going to be placed underneath you. You didn't even put there that's going to count towards you in a system where they bank points that turn to dollars. And as long as you're on a 1 sleeve monthly maintenance, that's going to bank those points. Otherwise, they're going to flush every month. Does that make sense? So I just want to give them a quick snapshot on the 3, 6, 20 pack, the auto ship, and how, you can kick the tires, you can, hit the go button, the comp plan, maximize it out of the gate, and why the power of the monthly maintenance is important, and let them know that 90 days and it's still all month to month. And I tell people there's a 30-day back money guarantee. And at this point, I tell everybody, don't even waste your time with that, because you need to get to a 90-day runway if you're going to really do this.
Awesome. That's great, Ken.
Great questions, honey. Diana is awesome. She caught me on the fly, but this is how life works, and so, because these are the realities that happen. All right, it is, I'm 2 minutes out. My apologies. So if you guys got to jump, please do. Any other last minute questions before we close this out? All righty. Well, it's been an honor to be with all y'all tonight. And if you need to jump, please jump. I love to close this in prayer. So if you got to jump right now, please do. But those who want to stay for just a minute, literally in 15 seconds, I'm going to close this in a prayer, and then we're going to run from there. Thank you. All right, Heavenly Father, thank you for this opportunity. We pray you bless the next Zoom, that this is a team Zoom. We just thank you for Steve and Gina Merritt and all they do, and bless the next presenter, that this is a team Zoom. And we pray, Lord, for our team that's on this call. You continue to bless them both left and right legs, Lord. Bring them leaders, bring them blessings, Father, and may the year end up strong and helping them change lives and find greater hope in this opportunity, Lord. Greater hope in you, most of all. And thank you for being so good to us and going before us and being the showstopper. Lord, you are the one who brings the growth. Lord, inspire us and lead us and guide us and direct us, Lord, to everybody you have picked out for us, and give us the power to love everybody who says no and be a blessing to them as well. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, everybody. It's been a blessing and an honor, as always, to be with you. Night.